All right, well, after a couple weird starts and things, I was thinking in the car on the way in, there's some things we can talk about in Crusader Kings that are they're actually kind of relevant to the upcoming DLC that's gonna hopefully be around to November, December-ish, for Christmas time, hopefully. But I was thinking of some things that could be fun to talk about, and one of them was different government types they don't let you play as. And in fact, I thought it'd be so fun, I dragged Hunter in on this.
Yes, I've been dragged against my will. Please, somebody help me. Call my family, tell them I love them.
I can't hang up for some reason.
No, even though we're hundreds of miles away, I'm being held against my will. So, Justin, how do you want to kick things off?
Well, so, like I said, I was thinking with the new Holy Fury DLC coming out, one of the big things I've always talked with you about is how I kind of wish they'd let you play as Theocracies. And, well, as you can see here, you still can't play as Theocracies, but...
Yeah, it's crazy. You've got the Pope, the puppet master of the medieval world. The most powerful man in the most powerful hat. And you can't control him.
Right.
Game's been out close to a decade, and you can't control the Pope. You can control the College of Cardinals. You can put a cardinal in as the Pope.
Can't touch the Teutonic Order.
Oh, yeah, that's another crazy thing. You can't use the Teutonic Order. In EU4, you can use the Teutonic Order. They work just fine. You can use Theocracies and Masonic Orders in EU4, no problem. But for Crusader Kings, I guess the limiting thing is because it's all built around the dynasty system, and that doesn't really work well. They made it work with merchant republics, but for some reason they didn't get to work with Theocracies or regular traditional republics so far.
Yeah, and I think that's the one that got me, because originally I was just going to be like, yeah, no, Theocracies would be cool, but then I realized, right, you still can't play as, like, Novgorod here, because they're a republic.
They're a traditional republic.
They're a traditional republic.
It's
and
so
I mean,
odd.
I'm sure it's something in the coding, because, I mean, merchant republics, I think the point is, you're all five... I guess in a republic, it's just some random person can get elected. See, I don't get what the difference is, but...
The way it works from a gameplay perspective is, yeah, like you were saying, they essentially just draw a random person from a pool of either courtiers or random characters and make that person the new leader of the republic. But how hard could it be to implement something like the merchant republics, where you have voting blocks, or you have houses, or you have
even political parties? Yeah, something like that.
I thought political parties would be too modern. That's why I was using the other words. But yeah, essentially political parties within these republics, because Novgorod is such a well-known. It's one of the Novgorod, the Kievan Rus. They're the most well-known people in Russia in this era, and it's crazy that you can't play as them.
Yeah, and I don't know, part of what I was brainstorming a little bit was actually how to make them playable, but I agree, like republics, I feel like you can do a similar system, because the only difference is the Merchant Republic is coastal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the Merchant Republic is based around the fact that you have these powerful families.
And you can buy your election. Yeah.
And you essentially buy your elections, but let's be honest, that's how a regular republic would work too. Just because you don't have access to trade nodes and fleets of ships, they're going to be making money in other ways. They're going to be gaining influence in other ways. I'm not sure how they would do that. Maybe you could set up... God, I don't remember exactly how the Novgorodian Republic worked. Like how they elected. Did they only elect from a certain class? Were they only electing out of certain houses? It's lost on me. I should have done my research before we started this, but it's shocking that of all the expansions and all the new different governments, they even added a new government form for the Tibet. Tibet, the Masonic Republic, and it's crazy that they couldn't implement something like that for the Teutons or for just traditional republics. Now I understand how in baronies, like these small single barony republics, how that would be a little weird to have a republic for something that small, but for something big like Novgorod, I feel like they could have done something there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they can do... I am surprised by the fact, because it is such a... Even in the game, it's such a prominent area up there.
Yeah, it is. It's the most influential kingdom in the area before the Mongols showed up.
Yeah, and then
not kingdom, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, one thing you mentioned was the new government type over here. There's actually two. There's monastic feudal, and there's Confucian bureaucracy.
Confucian bureaucracy. And tell me, how is monastic feudal? How would that not work for the Teutons?
Yeah,
I guess I haven't played as a monastic feudal since we did our Jade Empire campaign almost 8 months ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming it's still kept within a single family, so I guess it wouldn't work like that for the Teutonic Order, but...
No, but this is where I think the main key of going back to the theocracies, the main thing that you'd be doing is you would almost be like, this is my, I'm the bishop of this area or the leader of this territory. This is my child that I'm tutoring. He is adopted into my lineage. You adopt the child in. I mean, it's almost like the orcs work in Warhammer, the Warhammer DLC we're playing, or DLC.
Exactly. It could be like maybe not lineage, maybe something like a sect, like the Teutonic Order would have different, not voting blocks, maybe not sects, maybe that's too much of a divide for a religion, but definitely different factions within the Teutonic Order who think the Teutonic Order should be run different ways. Yeah, I could see it being really cool. Mm-hmm. And since they are celibate, obviously it's not going to be based off of a dynasty, so you have to find a way around that. And it could just work like a elective monarchy where, like you were saying, they have vassals underneath of them. So if you don't become the head honcho of the Teutonic Order, you just go back to your lowly county or your lowly duchy, and you carry on from there, and you give it a shot next time.
Yeah, well, or even more fun, you could have it where, because, people join these orders, you could actually try to recruit, like, this is the Prince of, Prince of France or something. Do you want to join the order under my tutelage? And then, you may become him after you die. I wouldn't know exactly how it works, but I could see that being really cool, because he gets kicked out of the election running and becomes part of the order. He's no longer, if I remember, no longer viable for the throne. He gets actually pulled out of your heir pool.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. And you have these big families like the Carlings and the Yinglings in Scandinavia, who... The Yinglings, if I'm not mistaken, are the first Christians in Scandinavia, the Christian rulers in Scandinavia. Or they're the first rulers in general. The Yinglings. Okay, there we go. So you have the Yinglings, you have the Normans, you have the Carlings, you have all the kingdoms down in Iberia. You basically, so you're this old Carling in the Teutonic Order, you're running the show, but you know your time's coming. You call your brother up or your uncle up or your nephew up and say, hey, do you have any third sons or do you have any disgruntled relatives that are going to challenge you that you want to get rid of? Kind of like how the Night's Watch works in Game of Thrones. You say, just send me those accessory family members or those family members that you think are going to be difficult in the future. And that way your dynasty is being expanded within this theocracy, even though you're celibate.
Yeah. I think it'd be a really cool idea, because maybe as a merchant republic, your goal is money. As a feudal lord, your goal is land. I don't know what your goal is as a theocracy necessarily, but I could even see it being like, hey, I'm kind of moving my chair around. I could see it as kind of, you can even offer your vassalization to someone and, work with a liege maybe to convert a heathen area or something. I don't know. I could see possibilities with it.
Well, as a theocracy like the papacy, you could have two routes of play. You could have the puppet master role where you're controlling these large kingdoms and they're making moves across the world on your behalf, or you could take a more direct role, maybe take the papacy in a different direction, a more hands-on approach, and expand on the papal kingdom itself.
Do what some of the popes did in the past.
Yeah. Go to the Holy Land yourself and say, I'm the mouthpiece for God. I'm the best person to run this. Run this.
I'm gonna kill some Muslims today.
Yeah, I'm gonna spread God's holy light, and you could do the same thing. Are there any theocracy? Well, the thing with
you can create a theocracy in the Muslim world too.
You can. I thought the whole thing about Iqta was it was just kind of a marrying of theocracy and feudal, because
that's true.
The Sunni Caliph is more or less a feudal lord, but also a religious leader.
Nope, you're right. If you click on their temple holdings, their Iqta. But you could also do that, though, because you can be an imam that I don't know, you can run with it as an imam. You don't have to necessarily
could
be like the sultan. You could be the guy next to the sultan.
Mm-hmm. And then there are theocracies. Are there any theocracies in India? I feel like India would be rife with theocracies. You would have you have the caste system, and you have the Brahmins, who are the caste typically that become priests.
I mean, they are theocracy.
The Brahmins are. And can you hover over his caste real quick? He's a Brahmin, right? Down next to his education.
Yes, he is.
He's a Brahmin. Okay. And that's the caste that typically became priests and holy men. I don't know if there are any restrictions culturally for them holding lands or any kind of significant power, but I mean, why not go from just a small temple down in Hindustan to controlling the entire subcontinent itself?
Yeah, you do a religious revival thing almost, or even just like, I want this holy site, I'm going to go get this holy site because our religion needs it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, how many times in history has someone claimed God spoke to them and they conquer half of a continent because there's just such a religious fervor around them? They gather up tens of thousands of peasants and super religious lords, and they just go on a rampage, and they control it for, 5-10 years before it all falls apart.
Yeah, well, and then another cool note with that, my brain just kind of collapsed there. Oh, so you can actually almost have different Casas Beza as well for war, because it's like, I'm not doing this for a conquest reason, I'm doing this for a religious reason. You're like, I mean, there's already excommunication wars, there's already decadence wars, but I could see it being like, some sort of, you are not following, you're, a lustful, greedy person? I'm going to war with you.
Well, that makes me think, Justin, you have that, and you also, if I'm not mistaken, in regular Crusader Kings, you don't get CBs on specific holy sites, do you?
No, you don't.
You don't get a CB on a location just because it's a holy site.
Nope.
So if you go over to, what's a holy site in Spain? Is Seville a holy site?
Santiago.
I know Carun. Oh, Santiago. Like, could you go to war could you get a CB specifically for Santiago?
Yeah,
that would be something Theocracies might be able to do.
Say the priest.
Canterbury. Yeah.
Even another one, because they have the societies, so there's the different monastic orders. It could even be like the priest is I was hoping to land on one, but he has like the, evil priest trait. It's like, I'm declaring war on just the temple holding, I'm kicking him out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with Holy Fury, there's so little, well, you know more about Holy Fury than
they haven't released everything yet.
They haven't released everything yet, but you've been keeping up with it. Are you able to set your own holy sites?
I haven't seen that yet.
That'd be something that would be interesting to implement. If maybe obviously they'd have to put some restrictions on it to keep you from just putting them all right next to each other.
Yeah.
But if you could set your own holy sites, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Well, another one, we mentioned this, and I just wanted to hit it briefly before, I don't have my clock up, but I don't know if we have too much time left, but the Holy Orders...
We're at 16 minutes.
Okay, so 20 is about my limit, but didn't want to make this too long. But Holy Orders was another one that I was looking at. Because, think about it. You can create your own Holy Order. You can offer your services to a liege.
Yeah, you create your own Holy Order. Start as an unlanded Holy Order, like the Santiagos or the
that'd be cool.
Knights Templar. And then you start gaining land slowly but surely, and you become something like the Teutons. Or
conquer a pagan or something.
Yeah, you conquer a pagan, you get all their land, you get a duchy level title or even a king level title, then you just grow from there.
Yeah, or...
Like the Yams Vikings, they can also hold land, if I'm not mistaken.
They can, or the Mamluks, they're vassals to the Egyptians, but I could see it being...
duh. That's a perfect example, Justin. The Mamelukes, they founded their own kingdom after a while.
Yeah, and I could see it being like, you are the leader of the Mamluks, you are in the service of the Egyptian Sultan, you can rebel against him, you could try to get your own land, you can work with him still. Like, I could just see the dynamic being really fun.
And even though you don't have, strictly speaking, they aren't a religious faction, you have the Janissaries, controlled by the Turks. I don't know if the game goes far enough into the future for Janissaries to be a thing.
I don't think they're a retinue or anything.
Yeah, that might be a little too far out of the scope.
But it's a thought. It could be a special event. And that's... this video can't cover everything. I had a whole nother part I wanted to talk about, but...
Well, it seems like we still have plenty to talk about, so if you do want to do a second part, I think I think we both still have breath in us for another part. Maybe not right now, but later on.
Of course, yeah. So we'll wrap this up. Next time we'll come back. And also, if you guys like this, just let us know, because, I mean, this is what we do normally when we're off camera. We just BS about this kind of crap.
Yep.
But feel free to have a discussion down below. What do you guys think about playing as a theocracy, playing as a republic, and possibly the dynamic that can come from that? We're curious to see what people have to say about that. So, do you have anything else to wrap us up, or?
No. I don't think so. When is this going to be airing on NPR, by the way?
On NPR, it will be at 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
On a Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much.
Yes, Eastern Standard Time. But thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Like some not old, but like 75, 80, 80s talk game show where he gets real close to the mic and he rubs the contestant's shoulders a little bit, and things get a little bit uncomfortable, but it's okay because he has sideburns and a nice suit. You're just here for the evening. Everybody's had a couple of drinks.